defense. Missed opportunities on offense, scoring just 7 runs in 35 innings. Tonight, Doug Fister looks to pick up the pace and cut down the Phillies in Game 2. Cool night in Philadelphia. The flags are blowing hard from left to right. Might be tough to hit one out to left field tonight, so why not concentrate on some singles and doubles? Maybe those little guys will help the Nats get things going tonight. We didn't expect 1 and 3. We didn't expect the ball club to be hitting 180. But FP, you played this game. You know how quickly things can change. You just don't want your pitchers to try to do anything extra to kind of keep things going so they don't have to be perfect.
Yeah, a lot of times when your offense is struggling, the pitchers try to be perfect. But I think Doug Fister is a perfect pitcher for tonight because he relishes this role. Okay, you're not hitting. I'm going to go out there and do my thing. An ERA over 5 in spring training. Don't panic, folks. Doug Fister will be fine tonight. Key word for us is ground balls. When Doug Fister's getting the ball on the ground, a 50% ground ball rate throughout his career, he's good. So if you're in the infield tonight, be ready for some work.
Last year in the division series, he was in Game 3 in San Francisco, and the Nats in a do-or-die situation against Bumgarner. He did quite well.
Yeah, and he did what he did all season long. But it seemed like last year, the bigger the game, the better Doug Fister was. And it's a big game tonight. When you start out 1 and 3 and everybody's picking you to win the World Series, you got to right the ship. You got to turn things around. But for me, it all starts with the offense tonight. But Doug Fister's going to do his thing.
Cole Hamels signed a big contract with the Phillies 3 years ago. He's had a losing record recently. His ERA's not that bad. He had 12 no decisions in 30 starts last year.
If you remember last year, he got stronger as the year went. His velocity went up. It's not there yet. He gave up 4 earned runs on opening day, a couple home runs to Dustin Pedroia. So, I mean, the way it's going for the Nats, Jerome Williams shoved last night, and maybe they get 10 runs off Cole Hamels here tonight.
You just never know what's going to happen. Michael A. Taylor off to a great start. He's 5 for 17. He has a homer. He has a couple of doubles. He's played a nice center field. FP told me today we should call him Michael A. Taylor. Looking good so far. The fanatic doing whatever he can to copy Ian's mechanics. He wishes he could throw like that someday.
He just makes me laugh.
You know, one well-placed pitch to the right could take care of this situation.
That's a great way to start this one up.
He's the best, 58 degrees. I tell you, those winds, they are gusting. They are steady. Left to right, humidity was 85% last night. It's 28 tonight. The Nats hitting $180. They're 13th in the league in runs scored. And Bryce Harper, career against Cole Hamels, 8 for 25. 4 strikeouts, couple of walks, and RBI. Ryan Zimmerman has 20 career hits against Hamels. Ian Desmond has 11. And Reed Johnson, who gets the start tonight, has 3 career RBIs against Cole Hamels, who's 15-8 in 32 career starts against the Nats.
A fastball averaging 92 for Cole Hamels this year. He'll cut it at 88. Curveball 77. Changeup 84. Has to be effective on the inner half to right-handers with that cutter to have a good night. His first start was opening day against the Red Sox. He went 5 innings, gave up 4 earned runs on 5 hits, struck out 6 Red Sox, walked 3. Dustin Pedroia hit a pair of home runs off him. Set the defense for the Phillies behind Cole Hamels tonight. Revere, Herrera, Sizemore your outfield. Galvis Blanco left side. Utley Howard right side. And Carlos Ruiz behind the dish.
Here's Michael A. Taylor. Hit the ball well last night. 3 line drives. One of them left the ballpark. Ball 1 gets us underway at 7:06 in Philadelphia. Marlins were shut out by the Rays today 2-0, so Miami has the worst record in the division at 1-4. Hamels with a fastball missing, 2-0. And of course, Cole Hamels known for a good fastball. He'll cut it, as FP said. He's always had a good changeup. I'd really like to see some of our right-handed hitters get a couple of knocks to the right field side of this ballpark tonight.
Well, that's a good game plan, Carp. If you start worrying about that cutter in, you're doing Cole Hamels a favor, because now you're looking for the ball in. Everything else works. And a lot of times that cutter in, it is never a strike. Just looks like one until you go to swing.
Yeah, there are rewards in this ballpark for hitting the ball over there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and here's how last night got started.
Then you were thinking, okay,
here we go.
This is going to be a 5, 6, 7 run night off Jerome Williams. That wasn't the case.
The Nats had 2 other hits in the first inning. Harper and Ramos, only 3 the rest of the night, and Taylor down on strikes to start game 2.
Pretty good changeup right here from Cole Hamels after he saw that swing. He saw Michael Taylor take that fastball, follow it straight back. What'd that tell Cole Hamels? He was getting close to his heater. And we saw last night with Michael Taylor, the more pitches he sees, the better he gets. Hamels with a beauty of a changeup.
108-game winner in his big league career. Here's Escobar. Udell has been walked by Hamels 6 times, but he's only 2 for 19 career. Off to a 3 for 14 start with a pair of walks. A double in the 8th last night got him a 1 for 4.
Talking to Matt Williams before the game today, he said, FP, we just haven't had that base hit, walk, base hit. And I said, Skipper, you haven't had the line moving yet. And he said, exactly. Yeah. And he thinks the guys he has in the lineup right now are good enough to do that. It just hasn't happened. You know, everyone knows 1, 2, 3 is out, but so what? He thinks the line should be moving a little better than it has been. So do we.
Hitters count. And Escobar jumps on it. And there's an opposite field hit. Ball not hit that hard, but to me that's a laser to right field, and hopefully some of the other guys will take that to heart and do it again.
Well, the offense has been going. To me, that's a rally. Nice piece of hitting by Yanel Escobar. Going the other way, taking that inside pitch, going to right, and there goes a no-hitter.
Lefty-lefty matchup now, Hamels and Harper. Rice 5 for 15 with a home run. Base hit in the first inning last night. And then he struck out 3 times, twice against Jerome Williams and once in the 8th against hard-throwing Ken Giles.
Bryce a little more open in his stance tonight against the lefty Hamels. You see his front foot kind of back a little bit more.
Jerry Lane calling the plate tonight, the crew chief. He didn't give Hamels that call. Well, if he gets that outside corner against a lefty with the heater, things are really going to get tough. Carlos Ruiz behind the plate. That's blown away. Joining Jerry Lane, Hunter Wendelstedt, Bob Davidson, and David Rackley, first, second, and third. Bryce has struck out 8 times in 15 at-bats. When he's made contact, he's been great. And that's ball 3, and Hamels takes a long look into the umpire.
But while you want the line to move and you're thinking Bryce Harper's getting close to a walk right here, you know, the way this might be the best pitch he sees in the sequence in a 3-0 count. It's a good take by Harper on a borderline pitch. Yeah, you don't want to offer up that one for real.
Big sequence here with Zimmerman on deck. Way off the line at third, Blanco, in case there's an outside pitch. If Bryce takes that way, that's a swing and a foul tip. And the count's full.
So you're having trouble scoring runs. An early decision for Matt Williams as you start Yunel Escobar here in a 3-2 count with 1 out.
Maybe if Bryce hasn't struck out as frequently as he has, boy, I'd sure hate to take the bat out of Ryan Zimmerman's hands if something bad happens here. Short lead by Escobar, and he will draw a throw. Phillies thinking the same thing. Ryan Howard back at first base tonight. And a visit with Tony Tarasco for Escobar.
First base coach for the Giants used to always come up and tell us the pitcher's times in our ear. So 1.23 seconds. The last number was the sign that was on. So say 2 is a bunt. He'd say he's 1-3-2. So the last number would tell you what sign is on just in case you missed it from the third base coach. 3 was a steal. He's 1-5-3 to the plate, FP. So he's telling you that the steal is on.
Yeah. Escobar is holding. That ball might have been off the plate, but Bryce on a 2-strike count went after it and fouled it away.
You'd see the sign from your third base coach. You'd get the sign, but then you reinforce it in your ear. And the first baseman never knew what he was saying. But we had a little code so that you never missed a sign.
Let's track the entire at bat here with Nissan. It started with that fastball up and away. Then a couple of borderline pitches. Now 3-2 again. And Bryce Harper takes one close. He will walk. And Cole Hamels probably feels a little squeezed here in the first inning. What a good at bat by Bryce. His second walk of the season.
Maybe down, maybe outside. I didn't think it was that close at all. You see the sequence and pitch track, everything away from Harper, so that's going to be Cole Hamels' game plan tonight. And a good at bat by Bryce Harper, and dare we say the line is moving?
It's creeping. Ryan Zimmerman walking a base hit last night. 2 hits, 2 RBIs on that home run in Game 2 against the Mets. And that's inside.
You think back to games past when the Nats faced Cole Hamels. They always got him early. He's a guy that settles down. He's a rhythm guy. He has a tendency to struggle like a lot of good pitchers do in the first inning. So opportunity knocking.
Outfield straight away. There's that changeup, 84 moving away from the right-hander. .31-year-old Cole Hamels with a career ERA of 3.28. As I mentioned, he had an odd season last year. He made 30 starts. He pitched over 200 innings for the 6th time in his career, but he went only 9-9. That 2.46 ERA indicates that he didn't get a whole lot of run support from a very light hitting Phillies team last year. So he's making his 276th start, 33rd against the Nats. The Nats are going to make him through a long first inning here. Harper hanging tough on 2 strikes before the walk. 75 career at bats, as we mentioned, between Zimmerman and Hamels. 50 represented by Ian Desmond, who's in the hole behind Ramos on deck.
Wind really whipping in from left field tonight. Unless you hit something under the scoreboard, it's going to be tough to hit anything out to left.
Zimmerman jammed. One hopper. Blanco a problem with it at the start, and they don't turn the double play. Safe call by Hunter Wentelstedt at first base, and the Nats are still alive. Blanco a little glitch, and that cost him the 5-4-3. And Ryan Sandberg thinks the runner was still out at first. He's coming out.
Good slide by Bryce Harper. A little traffic there for Chase Utley on the turn. And let's see it. Yeah, he's safe. I don't think that'll be reviewed. We haven't had a replay review yet this year. 4 games. Crickets.
Escobar at third, Zimmerman at first. The Nats live to battle with one more hitter here. And it's Wilson Ramos, who's off to a 2-for-12 start. And against Cole Hamels' 3-for-17 career with an RBI.
Give Ryan Zimmerman a little bit of credit. He always runs down the line hard. He could have just cashed it in right there on a cool night and said, oh, that's a double play ball, but he busted it, and now the Indian's still alive.
Fastball sizzles in at 92. And a little tapper back to the pitcher. There was a walk after a hit with one out. The Nationals leave a couple to start the game, and we'll watch Doug Fister's debut in a moment. But they've scored 10 runs to the Nationals 7. Ron Howard back in the lineup. He's always done damage against the Nationals. Now, having said that, most of that was from 05 through about maybe 2011. A little slow the last few years, but he was a capital punisher of his own against our pitching staff for a number of years. Doug Fister, 31 years old, and he brings a 60-56 career record to this one.
And the fastball's a two-seamer. It averaged 88 last year, and we're going to keep track of Doug Fister's ground balls tonight. When the ball's on the ground, that's when he's the best. Had a rough spring training, ERA over 5, but throw that out the window. My favorite Doug Fister stat from last year, more starts than walks. 25 starts and only 24 walks all season long.
That is almost impossible to do. He has started 4 career games against the Phillies. He's 2-2. Ben Revere, 2 for 15. He had a base hit, was hit by a pitch last night. Hit the ball hard another time, lined into a double play. Well, Jerome Williams showed us last night, spring numbers don't mean much.
The one thing you want to keep an eye on with Doug Fister tonight, too, he's working on 7 days rest. Sinker ball guys will tell you, they like to be a little fatigued. And you remember as the season went on last year, Doug Fister got better and better with each start. So his first one last year, after he missed a month in Oakland, was a rough one. He was a little strong. He was up in the zone. The A's made him pay.
And you saw Reed Johnson getting the start in left. He's guarding the line against Howard, who's been known to hit line drives down that way. In fact, one of Ryan Howard's favorite things to do in this ballpark when they pitch him away is to just hit line drives out toward the 374 mark, and anything to the left of that's pretty cozy here. He goes that way. Desmond picks it off. He'll bounce it to Zimmerman, and a good play on both ends. So with Howard 3 batters away, Ben Revere takes the opposite field approach.
Boy, the game moves so fast at the highest level. Ben Revere can fly down the line. You see Ian Desmond with a sense of urgency right there, going toward the left field line, throwing across his body, and it gave Ryan Zimmerman a big hop. That was a nice play by the Nats shortstop. So check 1 ground ball for Doug Fister.
He's the quick release, right?
Yeah. I mean, you just see the urgency there because he knows the speed of the ball, the speed of the runner.
So tonight the Phillies a bunch of lefties. Revere, Galvis the switch hitter, Utley the lefty, Howard the lefty, Grady Sizemore. So we'll see how they use the opposite part of the ballpark tonight. Freddie Galvis left-handed, 2 for 10, 5 for 13 overall. And Fister just missing inside on a 0-2 pitch.
So the defense, a little different look for your Nationals tonight. Reed Johnson getting his first start in left field. Michael Taylor in center. Bryce Harper in right. Desmond Escobar left side. Danny Espinosa joining the party on the right side. Zimmerman and Ramos catching.
And Danny is the only player without an at-bat so far. So he's been eager to get out there. He'll be due up third after Desmond and Johnson in the top of the second. 1-2. There's a ball guided to the left side, and Galvis gets a base hit. Over by the line, Reed Johnson will hold it to a single.
But when you're a ground ball pitcher, you're at the mercy of maybe some of those ground balls finding holes. So, Escobar kind of getting a bad read on that. Did you see his first couple of steps? He maybe didn't see that. His first steps were kind of slow, and a lot of times a chopper could get lost in the stands. I don't know if that was the case.
Utley and Howard now the next 2. Chase Utley 1 for 14, but he had a sacrifice fly here last night, and he has driven in 3 runs.
You know what I will say, Carp? As a former utility player, moving over to third base, it seemed like to me that a left-hander could never possibly hit you a ground ball. It just didn't look like it could physically happen. Yeah. So maybe that was the case with Hunal right there.
And a little chopper right at him. He goes to second, gets the lead runner. Espinosa tries to gun out at first, and a good play by Ryan Zimmerman to keep that ball from going by him. He just swept the glove at it to keep it on the infield. 2 down.
So 3 hitters, 3 ground balls. Escobar with a nice play right there. Good feed. Danny Espinosa, as we've seen in the past, thinks he can turn every double play, and he usually can. I'm liking the ground balls early. That's a good sign.
Yes, sir. So here's Ryan Howard, 1 for 12. When he hits the ball the other way, it's in the air. So you can afford to shift him on the infield. Mr. Missing inside. Howard, career against Doug, 1 for 9. Good pitch right under his hands. Big man can't extend on something like that. Howard had a healthy season last year. He played 153 games, drove in 95 runs. He had been all banged up since that last play in the playoffs in 2011 when he really hurt the Achilles going into first base at the last out of that series. And he rocks one into the corner. Bryce Harper over to get it. Chase Utley coming around third. He's going to be sent by Pete McCannon. Here's a cannon from Espinosa, and the runner is out.
Jose Lobaton approves. Doug Fister's going to wait. Give some knucks to his catcher, give some knucks to Danny Espinosa, but you're challenging two of the best arms in baseball right there. Bryce Harper with a perfect throw. Watch Danny Espinosa just upload a bullet to Wilson Ramos. Wow. Couple of good arms. I think the key right here, Carp, is watch how quick Bryce Harper gets rid of this ball. He knows he doesn't have time to just load up and throw it, so almost like a shortstop, just slings it to Espinosa. And then a nice job by Wilson Ramos on the short hop himself. Spinning around, finding the runner. That's not easy.
Yeah, not with the runner behind you. There's Desmond to short. Galvis plays it well behind Andres Blanco, who couldn't cut it off to get the speedy Ian Desmond.
Boy, you know, when it's a Doug Fister start and Cole Hamels works fast too, things are happening quickly around here tonight. Nice play by the Phillies shortstop.
Next up, Reed Johnson.
Did you give Ryan Howard a double or a single?
I gave him a double.
Thanks.
I don't know if the scorer did, but I did.
Well, I don't care what he did. I just asked you.
Yeah, that's deserving of 2 bags. That ball hooked beautifully into the corner by him. Danny Espinosa gives you that extra dimension at second base. An absolute rocket. Reed Johnson, he leads the club in hitting. He's 1 for 2. Batting .500 with an RBI. Tough guy. Great addition to this ball club. I think if he's with the Nats for all of the season, most of the season, you'll see the best 38-year-old around. Of course, Monday we'll see the best 39-year-old around, David Ortiz, up at Fenway. Maybe they're worn out after all those innings against the Yankees last night. Red Sox beat the Yanks again 8-4 this afternoon. Reed Johnson, Cal State Fullerton guy. Grew up in the Riverside, California area. Nats signed him as a free agent in March. Up the middle, stabbed by Hamels, able to knock it down. Not a good throw. And then Ryan Howard has to pick it up and tag the runner.
Well, in case you haven't heard, the All-Star Game is in Washington, D.C. in 2018. We want you to be a part of this once-in-a-lifetime experience. To get first priority for tickets, become a 2015 full season plan holder. For details, visit nationals.com/DC18. And Bryce will be waiting for you at the website.
He is larger than life in front of Nationals Park right there. Well, Ryan Howard just kept Cole Hamels from making a really bad mistake. Here's Danny Espinosa. First pitch he sees in the regular season inside. Danny has 3 career hits, 2 walks against Cole Hamels, 3 for 19. Doug Fister on deck. Danny goes fishing a bit on a fastball outside. 1-1.
So that's going to be on the scoreboard all season long.
Oh boy.
That's his mugshot. For those of you that don't know, there's a photo day every year in spring training, and whatever picture you take on that day is on the scoreboard the rest of the year.
He's got everything in that picture but a bag of Fritos.
It's Yosemite Dan. We love it. That's awesome. It's fantastic.
Oh my gosh, he's getting closer. 2-1. Danny last year just 219 in 114 games. .158 the year before that, 44, and spent 75 games in 13 at AAA. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Target away. Espinosa, pretty good swing on that 93. Cole Hamels could throw that same location there with a changeup now, and it's tough for any right-handed batter to tell the difference. That's what he did. Espinosa 2-hopper to Galvis. Ryan Howard goes down to get that one, and 3 ground ball outs for Cole Hamels. Good pitching matchup shaping up here.
Strike a lot of guys out, and he actually allowed more home runs last season than he had in any year in his career. So how was he so effective in 2014? Well, a lot of it has to do with his ability to strand base runners once he does allow guys to reach base. Fister's left on base percentage last year was the best of any starter in the majors. He stranded over 83% of runners that reached base against him. I asked Matt Williams what it is about Fister that allows him to have so much success. He said when he gets a guy on base, he doesn't panic, he just sticks with what he does, and he truly believes that he's one pitch away from a double play.
I love that. On base, left on base percentage. Nice.
Well, I think also with veteran guys, especially like Doug Fister, you go softer in bigger situations. You use your off speed and you prey on, hitters' aggressive nature. When you're young, you just want to throw it by everybody in a big situation.
Up the middle from Carlos Ruiz. Behind it, Danny Espinosa for the first out. And Dan's sideline report brought to you by Coons.com. When you're talking cars, you're talking Coons. Next up, Grady Sizemore, who's had good success in a small sample against Doug Fister career, 4 for 9 with a home run.
Yeah, I just think of it. We have the best dressed in-game reporter in baseball.
He's tightened it up this year.
Cleaned it up nice. Yeah, he looks great.
Grady Sizemore, 1 for 5 with a base on balls to start his season. Lined out hard to left twice last night and drew a base on balls. They pinch ran for him late in the game. 32-year-old who will have a birthday in August. 266 career hitter. Gashes one right side. Espinosa to his left. Got that nice big hop, 2 down. Ground balls keep on coming. Let's go inside the numbers with Jeep. Walks per 9 innings. 1.31 for Jordan. 1.322 for Doug. Look at Bartolo Colon on that list. Guys who just don't beat themselves.
So there was 5 starters in the big leagues last year that had a lower number of walks than starts. Bartolo Colon, Phil Hughes, Iwakuma, and Zimmerman and Fister. Jordan Zimmerman, 32 starts, 29 walks. Doug Fister, 25 starts, 24 walks. And I mean, that's just mind-boggling.
It's like a power hitter who walks more than he strikes out.
Yeah.
There's Jordan. He is set for Monday at Fenway against Rick Porcello. Max Scherzer here tomorrow against Sean O'Sullivan for the Phillies, who's been in the big leagues off and on for the last 4 years. This is Odubel Herrera, 23-year-old Rule 5 pickup from Texas. And a 1-2 pitch popped up out of play. So Doug Fister, 4 out of 5 ground ball out so far. Hamels has 5. Third most important guy in this game tonight might be the head groundskeeper when they come out and drag the infield. For all these ground balls, these guys are dealing. That'll move him back 2-2. Youngster led the Texas League in hitting last summer at .321 with the Frisco AA ball club of Texas.
A lot of raw ability when you talk to Phillies coaches. This is a guy that's going to be a real good player for them.
They must like him a lot in center field. He moves Ben Revere over to left whenever he's in the lineup, or even last night when he came in off the bench. He had 128 minor league stolen bases. Big rolling breaking ball misses, 3-2. Mercedes-Benz will track the AB. Well, the even pitches look good. It's the odd numbers that have been in trouble for Doug here. Pop fly. Close. Just a little too deep for Escobar.
I was talking to Doug before the start a couple days ago, and he said, you know, mechanics were not where I wanted him in spring training. So he was getting a little bit too big out there. You know, he didn't get on top of the ball. His release point was all over. His windup wasn't where he wanted it, but early on here tonight, he's been down with everything. And when he's missing below the strike zone and his balls are below the strike zone early in the count, that's when you know he's on.
3-2 pitch again. Hanging tough Herrera. First inning, by the way, 18 pitches, 12 strikes. Keeping it going here. What a good at bat by the kid. Speedy Odubel Herrera aboard with 2 outs.
That walks on the truck for throwing that graphic. They're telling me in my ear they'll take it. They're wearing it right now. Oh, it's a good stat.
I was going to say that graphic looked like a good day at the shooting range. Here's Andres Blanco, the 31-year-old today, third baseman, celebrating his birthday in the lineup. Had a double against the Nats, hit by a pitch. That was a crucial sequence. That was the last batter Gio faced in the 7th inning last night before Xavier Cedeno came in and gave up the hit to Cesar Hernandez. That really broke the Nats back, that 2-run shot down the right field side.
Yeah, that whole thing escalated in a hurry last night.
Gio was in total command, 69 pitches in 6 innings. And all of a sudden he lost the strike zone. Blanco 0 for 1 left-handed. Doug having a hard time spotting that fastball to the inside corner to the lefties. Zimmerman right there. Pitch away, lefty tried to pull it, and now Doug Fister has 5 ground ball outs in 2 innings. No score. 3rd inning coming up. Doug will lead off. For the Achiever in You minor league report. He won't be a minor leaguer for long. Game 1 for the Peanuts, a homer. He went 1 for 2. Game 2, a walk on his rehab assignment. And the added dimension to possibly getting Jason back on Monday. If he were going to Fenway, American League Ballpark, he could DH. Left field, not the easiest thing to deal with at that ballpark with the Green Monster. It'd be great to see him back in the lineup.
Yeah, anyway. I'm trying to get the Peanuts box score up the whole commercial break, and it's not working. The website's slow.
Tighten it up now.
Clean it up.
Doug Fister has a big league hitter, 8 for 67, a 119 average, with 2 career RBIs. Hoping for a walk, and he got it on 4 pitches. How about that? Cole Hamels second base on balls.
To treat your clients, employees, friends, family I don't know, strangers, people you meet on the street, to amazing outings at Nationals Park this year, due for 2015. Brand new fan experiences like watching batting practice from the dugout or holding the finish line for the Geico President's Race while the Presidents run you over. Call 202-675-NATS or go to nats.com for more information.
Michael A. Taylor struck out by Hamels on a changeup, first time up. So, you know, Michael doesn't want this thing to get to 2 strikes. Leach eating up the middle for a possible double play. A lot of hitting room right side. Fastball outside. 1-1. People are surprised Cole Hamels is still here. They're surprised Papelbon's still here. Big part of their pitching staff, still part of this ball club. Taylor with a good rip. Cole Hamels' contract, a lot to take on for some ball clubs. He is signed through the 2018 season with a club vesting option for the following year. Signed that deal back in 2012 when he was in the process of winning 17 games.
I love the way Michael Taylor chokes up on the bat. And for those of you that might be wondering why, it just gives you better feel, better control the barrel of the bat. And some guy named Barry Bonds used to do the same thing, and I always used to say, if it's good enough for him, it's good enough for me.
I hate that we have to call that old school.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody should do it. Can't get it. There's that changeup again. So Cole Hamels has 2 Ks, Taylor both times. When the Nats win, everyone wins, and then they score a lot of runs, and we're hoping for that. You get 50% off. Regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com. 7 runs or more, enter promo code NATS50. That's valid at participating D.C., Maryland, Northern Virginia Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. The official pizza of your Washington Nationals, Papa John's. Here's Escobar, took Hamels the other way for a clean single. First time up, the Nats only hit. First time around the order.
Not always guaranteed a fastball and 2-0 count right here, but we've seen Yunel Escobar when he's ahead in the count basically swing out of his shoes, and I'm sure Matt Williams would like to see that right here on anything close.
They give him a big gap in left center. There he goes. That was not a fastball.
Change up.
Big swing off to the other side. 2-2. They were delayed by weather a long time in Atlanta last night. The Braves beat the Mets. They're now 4-0 and they're ahead tonight 1-0 third inning. Break up the Braves. 2-2 pitch. Close to that inside edge.
Did they start at like 11:55 like we did last year?
No, they were playing by the time we got out of here last night, but they were still in the early innings.
Nothing like the Yankee Red Sox game.
Wow. Yeah, then they had to come back and play a day game today. That was a low scoring affair, 8-4.
Boy, you can see Escobar's approach to Hamels. He's all in on going the other way. No matter where the pitch is, he's got the inside out swing working, and he is trying to hit the ball behind Doug Fister. I like the approach. I like the game plan.
3-2 with 1 out. And a bounce it is short. Escobar's going to have to hustle. And with Fister going in there, Chase Utley just holds on. On the 6-4, 2 down. That'll get Doug in the dugout for a breather.
Doug Fister's a baseball player. Look at that. You be dirty already, going in hard to second base. Leadoff walk. Look at that. Love it. I'm going to say 8 out of 10 pitchers peel off into right field right there. Doug Fister going in hard. Love it.
Bryce Harper had a good at bat first time up. Battled on 3-2. Took a walk on a borderline pitch. He got first pitch 89 right there. So Hamels just taking a little bit off the fastball.
See Bryce smelling the bat and the foul ball.
It was burning.
It was burning. Sometimes you foul off a ball and you can smell the wood burning. That's exactly what he was doing.
And it's 0-2. .78 on the curveball as Hamels shows him that.
A lot of pitches.
Yeah. 23 in the first inning. 11 in the second. And a walk has cost him a bunch here. Harper fights one off, but it carries out to Sizemore. Nat's gone in the third. It'll be Hamels now, returning the favor and leading off for the Phils. Having a good night out there in Ashburn Alley.
Smokes a double down the right field corner. Bryce Harper, textbook cutoffs in relays, folks, to Danny Espinosa. Good pick by Wilson Ramos, getting Chase Utley for the third out. Last night in the open, we talked about playing clean baseball. That was clean.
Cole Hamels, 174 career hitter with a homer, 28 RBIs. Only got one at bat in a short outing Monday against Boston. You know, just because Hamels walked Fister on 4 doesn't mean it has to happen here. He throws a strike, and Hamels, the pitcher, swinging on 3-0. How about that?
I think it was 2-1, Carp. The Citizens Bank Ballpark, in your defense, said 3-0.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's not your fault. It said it on the board. But there's no way. The reason I had to look twice and check is because pitchers just don't swing 3-0. piece of it.
Announcer 101, go with the graphic, not the scoreboard.
Oh, trust me, well, no, I still haven't known that.
Strike two, Ben Revere. Ground ball on which Ian Desmond made a fine play first time on the run to throw him out. And Ryan Zimmerman made a nice pick on that play as well for a 2-star 6-3. One and a base hit. Phillies have 4 hits already. 2 in the first, 2 here in the third. The Nationals so far this year, when they're on offense, they have 4 innings in which they've had more than 1 hit. One of those last night. 4 innings in 4+ games. They've done nothing to put pressure on the opposing team.
Not yet.
Here's Galvis. He had a base hit first time up.
Might be bunting. Let's see.
Yeah, he can run. Handles the bat. Lays it down. That's a hard bunt. And Pfister has a play. Escobar backpedaling manages to find the bag.
Well, I'm telling you, if you haven't played third a whole lot, that can be a difficult play when you retreat and the bag is behind you. Terrible bunt by Freddie Galvis right there. I mean, you got to keep it away from the pitcher number 1, and he just crushes it right back to Doug Pfister. And you see Escobar doing a little dance right there. Cole Hamels not hustling in the third.
Chase Utley, that is so big, double plays in order.
I mean, if you're a number 2 hitter at the major league level and you're called upon to lay down a bunt, that really can't happen. Right back to the pitcher hard.
Yeah, anywhere else you get away with it. Chase Utley first time up. Reached on a 5-4 fielder's choice, then gunned out at home by Harper and Espinosa. I always get a little nervous at plays like that with Bob Davidson looking in from second base. Pfister home quickly, misses low and away, 1-1. Well, we'll see in a couple of months if this is a legit question, because Howard did play most of the schedule last year. He mentioned that he played 153 games. Chase Utley played 155 last year. So the two are healthy for the most part after knee problems for Chase and the horrible Achilles injury to the big man at first base.
Doug Pfister just quick pitched Chase Utley right there. Utley looked up and Pfister was already in his delivery.
By the way, Utley's 36, Ryan Howard's 34. As good a 3-4 combination as there was in baseball for several years. Utley had designs on left field there. Counts even 2-2. Doug Pfister arrives at 50 pitches with a 1 out here in the third. 18 in the first. 20 pitches in the second inning when he had a 2-out walk.
Ian Desmond doing a nice job of keeping Ben Revere close at second.
Got him. 80. Diving on the left-handed batter. Doug Pfister, great time for his first strikeout.
Yeah, just a slider right there that stayed up, didn't do a whole lot. Chase Utley was way out in front. Big out.
So here's Ryan Howard, who hit the ball with authority, hooking a double into the right field corner first time up. Only his second hit of the year and 13 at bats.
He can be careful right here. Watch. Guy hits a double off the first time up. You got a base open, even though it's third. You don't have to give in if you're Doug Fister right here. It's a big power zone.
Yeah, went down and got pitch number 4 last time. That big zone has been a circle of terror for pitchers for a lot of years. Mercedes-Benz on the pitch track here.
Has to be the bottom of the zone, right?
Good run back on it. He's got the biggest run back fastball since Levon was pitching for the Nats. And then he slipped 71 by Howard. The count goes 1-2.
Hasn't really busted out the curve yet. There it was in all its glory, 71 miles an hour. Look at Ryan Howard way out in front. Could bounce one here if you want.
Yeah, I was wondering if he might double up. Well, he goes with the straight change. And the count's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's still going to make Ryan Howard hit his pitch. It's not necessarily a pitch around when you have a base open. But, hey, look, in my mind, it's an 0-2 count, and you're going to hit my pitch, my best pitch. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a strike.
Howard to center. Taylor right there. Nats get a break. Ryan Howard has hit it hard twice, and there have been outs on the tail end of both. The Nationals have had so far. Honda brings you the due-up for the 4th with Zimmerman, Ramos, and Desmond. And what they did last year against left-handers. Wilson Ramos, per the games and at-bats he had, just punishing lefties. And he and Desmond, to a certain extent, the same thing. This is not your average lefty. But here's Ryan, who bounced a ball to third first time up.
There's still 10 seconds left on it between any ball. Is that illegal to start over?
No, that's kind of like the old days when Loyola Marymount used to play Oklahoma. You didn't have to worry about the shot clock. One ball, 1 strike. Cole Hamels' first 3 innings, 54 pitches, 32 strikes. Doug Fister's right about in that same area. Fister, 56 pitches, 35 strikes.
That scoreboard guy's having a rough night. He's got 2-1 up there.
Yeah, it's 1-2.
He needs to kick those beer cans out from underneath his feet.
Yeah, just watch the umpire. Well, evidently he had it right. That is strike 3. Or no, we had it right. That is strike 3. So Zimmerman gone. And 3 strikeouts for Cole Hamels. Here's Ramos, who Hit a little comebacker to Hamels, first time up. With runners at the corners to end the first inning.
I have our guys hunting for a rally something right now.
Okay.
In the crowd. Anything. They'll come up with some good suggestions.
Ramos in the air to right. Sizemore back, circling on the track, and it's out of here. Opposite field. Wilson Ramos first of the year. The Nats on top.
That'll work. We're just going to mention rally anything. And we haven't pulled it out this year, and the Buffalo picks everybody up with a home run.
Ramos' 47th career home run. And there he does what he did against a bunch of lefties last year. Old Hamels has now given up 5 home runs this year in under 9 innings.
Elevated, right? Belt tie. Ruiz wanted it down. Ramos ready for it. Takes a strong man on a cold night to go out to right field here at the bank, and Wilson Ramos just did it. And we love that sound. We haven't heard it in a while. Off the bat of Wilson Ramos. Nicely done.
That's the first time tonight anybody's really centered the ball against Hamels. Ian Desmond hit a ball fairly hard out to short his first time up. First pitch swinging. And that's a 2-hopper to Chase Utley. 2 outs. If Wilson Ramos stays healthy for the whole year, there is no telling the kind of production he can give this ball club. Here's Reed Johnson.
Hit the ball hard first time up, right back at Cole Hamels.
He's had some good at-bats. That went off the gear of Ruiz. Reed Johnson lines one the other way. I think Reed's base hit the other day is still the only hit producing a run this year, along with Michael Taylor's double on Thursday. It's not a home run. Almost that. The entire offense has been on homers, the solos, and then Zimmerman's 2-run shot.
Reed Johnson's the kind of player who cares about one thing: winning the game. I think that's a great get by Mike Rizzo. You know, everybody cares about winning, but he's a winning player. He's going to do things all year long that may not show up in the box score. They're going to help this ball club win games.
.310 against lefties career, and that is a swing and a miss. Innings over with 1 out. Wilson Ramos takes that formula we were hoping for tonight, taking one the other way. Towering blast, and Ramos is in the HR column.
bottom of the 4th. Wilson Ramos home run. Cole Hamels 5th home run he's allowed. And Doug Fister doing his thing. And we'll show you the highlights in a second because guess what? Doug Fister is ready to go.
56 pitches, 35 strikes through 3. 6 outs on the ground. And a swing and a foul by Carlos Ruiz. Had a night off last night, back in the lineup. 3 for 9 to start the season. Carlos Ruiz now 36 years of age. Gashes one up the middle. Espinosa to his right. And Doug Fister working with a lead now. Gets the first out.
There's the highlights we promised you. 3rd inning. Doug Fister in a little bit of a jam, but he'll take that 3 out from the 4 bunt by Freddie Galvis. And a slider that worked in his favor to Chase Utley, that a fastball right down the middle to Ryan Howard, but he had a man there. Uncle Taylor making the play.
Well, that bunt that failed last inning could be a huge play in this game. Already is, given the fact the Phillies didn't score. Now the Nats have taken the lead. Sizemore grinding out to Espinosa first time. Odubel Herrera is next. That's a strike. And another bouncer, little top spin action. Doug Fister will go after the number 7 hitter Herrera here, who he walked with 2 outs last time up.
Join the Nats on Friday, April 17th, as they host Military Appreciation Day. That's part of the season's patriotic series that's presented by SAIC. All active duty, dependent, reservists, and retired military members can receive 2 complimentary game tickets per military ID while supplies last. You can get those tickets at Nats Park ticket windows on Potomac Avenue near the blue tent. That's beginning at 4 p.m.
Herrera goes up swinging, pops it up. Ian Desmond under it. Doug Fister with a very quick bottom of the 4th. He is rolling. Got a break on that bunt last inning, and it's 1-0 Nats. Next 5 and tomorrow right here, Max Scherzer, Sean O'Sullivan, 1:35 first pitch. Opening day at Fenway, Jordan Zimmerman, Rick Porcello on Monday. Tuesday night, Steven Strasburg and Justin Masterson. And then Wednesday afternoon, Gio and left-hander Wade Miley, former National Leaguer. Then the boys will come home and take on these Phils and the Cardinals on the next homestand. Danny Espinosa, 6-3 ground ball, first time.
Did you happen to see the play that Andrelton Simmons made last night? Travis d'Arnaud?
That rocket of a throw?
Oh my goodness. One of the better plays I've ever seen going into the hole. Going into left field and a jump throw on the money with something on it.
Yeah, the cupboard's not bare in Atlanta. As they have him and Freddie Freeman, they've got some guys they can build a ball club around. They've just gotten off to a start nobody expected. Still leading the Mets 1-0 tonight. Danny Espinosa takes one high and tight, 2-1. And a two-hopper out to short. Freddie Galvis takes care of that. Doug Fister will bat with one out. Citizens Bank Park opened up in 2004. Capacity of 43,651. We saw something last night we have never seen before here. A crowd of under 20,000. They announced 19,047. And out of the 12 teams in the league who have had home games so far, the Phillies ranked 10th in attendance.
Pretty good hack right there by Doug Fister.
It's a ball player, right?
He is.
Went into second base to try to keep Chase Utley from turning a double play last time, and did. Stays alive. Loves to compete. (14-9) for the Tigers the year before he came to the Nats. And to the right side for Chase Utley. Washington, D.C. Lexus dealers donate $250 to the Children's National Health System for every home run a Nats player hits this year. It's for a great cause from Lexus, the pursuit of perfection. The Nats have hit 4 homers this year. Ramos joining the parade tonight.
Michael Taylor's had some good hacks. Struck out a couple of times. He's got some pitches that he's fouled straight back. And guys like Cole Hamels will give you something to hit. You generally get one pitch every time you're up there. If you miss it, then you're in trouble.
Counts even, 1-1. A lot of hair on that fastball, 91. Seemed quicker than that. Hamels gets him with an off-speed pitch, and Taylor strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. Top of the 5th is over. Hamels 5 Ks, 1 pitch, or else this thing's a tie.
Park on Sunday, April 19th, as we celebrate Screech's birthday and kids' opening day. So, how old is Screech, Carp?
He's 10.
10 in Eagle years? Is that saying?
He's 10 in Nats years.
But you were saying during the break, lost a lot of weight. Right?
Yeah, he was a little on the short, portly side first few years, and he started working out.
Does he get drug tested?
I don't know.
Looking pretty lean, pretty big. There's your ground outs, 8 of them.
Yeah. 2 last inning. 63 pitches, 42 strikes entering the 5th. And a base hit by the number 8 hitter, Andres Blanco. Is he thinking two? Better not. Taylor up with it in a hurry, and a perfectly accurate throw. Phillies have their leadoff man on for the 2nd time tonight.
Well, you remember Bryce Harper held a couple of Mets to singles in the game they won the other night. Michael Taylor doing a great job of busting it in the gap. Backhand throw right on the money. And for those of you that haven't seen him throw yet, he has a plus arm in center field. I guess you just did.
Here's Hamels with a chance to bunt. He takes a stab at it. The Phillies have their 5th hit. The Nats have 2.
It's a big at bat for the Phillies and Cole Hamels. He can help himself out right here.
Fair ball. Ramos to second, and the ball is off the glove of Ian Desmond. We'll have to assess an error to somebody on that. The throw was tailing into the runner.
Yeah, there was a little traffic for Ian Desmond. I have to see the replay with everybody at home to decipher what I just saw. I think Ian Desmond's got to make that play. I mean, I see what he was doing right there because the throw was tailing into Andres Blanco. And this will give us the best look right here. Watch. Yeah, sure he'd be the first one to tell you he's got to catch that ball.
Ball seemed to skip over the top of his glove. Now there's a bunt, there's a play at third. And for the 2nd time tonight, the Phillies don't execute with 2 on, nobody out. Ben Revere, a bad bunt that time.
Well, Doug Fister, one of the best fielding pitchers in all of baseball. So if you're going to bunt against Doug Fister, you got to make it a good one. And for you younger players watching at home, do not bunt like the Phillies have bunted here tonight. Cole Hamels with a bad bunt, Freddie Galvis with a bad bunt, and now Ben Revere with a bad bunt in a 1-0 game in the 5th.
Man, things are happening quickly.
I mean,
they did give Desmond the air, by the way, on that play.
If you're a bunter and 1st and 2nd, nobody out, you want to make the 3rd baseman field the baseball. So you don't have to bunt it soft, just bunt it to the 3rd baseman, because if he fields it, there's nobody at 3rd, you get the job done.
Ball lifted to center, a routine fly ball from Freddie Galvis. No chance for anybody to tag here. Now Doug Fister is one batter away of getting out of another jam.
Would have been a sac fly.
It'll be Chase Utley.
Get the bunt down, that's a sac fly. And if the 3rd baseman's in your face and the 1st baseman's in your face, just bunt it soft. Your hand down toward the end of the bat. I wish I could do a bunting clinic right now because it was the only thing I could do good. Just get your hand down the end of the bat and make the first bounce be in the dirt. If you can't tell, I'm passionate about being a good bunter. It's a big part of baseball nowadays.
Well, it's a little thing that's a big thing, really. And the Phillies have cost themselves a couple of runs here to this point. It's up to Chase Utley now to bail them out, get them on the board. He has bounced into a fielder's choice and has a strikeout. 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball and a good pick by Wilson Ramos, shuffling to his right. They did give Hamels a sacrifice on his bunt. And a line drive right to Ryan Zimmerman. That was an off-speed pitch. Good pitch by Pfister despite the line drive. He had the hitter way out ahead. Ryan picked it off, and the Nats escape again.
We're going to go back to the fourth inning. Fastball came in at 92 miles an hour from Cole Hamels, and it left 97 miles an hour, and it put the Nats way ahead, 1-0.
Top of the sixth inning, so the Ramos blast the difference. He'll bat if anybody gets on here. Escobar, Harper, and Zimmerman. Cole Hamels 82 pitches, 52 strikes. Doug Fister's at 73 over 50. And going the other way with a good swing is Escobar, but it's right at Grady Sizemore.
Good swing.
Bryce Harper next. Nats box. Only 2 hits all night. 1 out single by Escobar in the first. And then Ramos, the oppo blast, his 3rd hit of the year with 1 out 4th inning. 1-2-1 Nats, 0-5-0 Phillies. Harper 0 for 1 with a base on balls. Geared up for 90. Bryce drew the third baseman Blanco in with a quick show of a bunt there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I would just say to Bryce that bunting hasn't been the best idea tonight.
Well, for the other team it hasn't. You know, I thought Michael Taylor might try to lay one down on a 1-1 pitch last inning. He had Blanco playing way back. Took the pitch, eventually struck out. 1-2 to Bryce. That'll even things up. Atlanta has picked up 4, and they lead the Mets 5-0 now, 6th inning.
They're on pace to go 162-0.
That would be something. Well, Kentucky couldn't do it. Quiet Saturday night at the bank.
The Braves have had as many players leave as Kentucky.
Yeah, some of them were 5 and done. but not a turnover. Bryce hits one beyond the mound. Utley knows he's got to hurry. And Bryce Harper hustled Utley into a hurried throw. 2 down. That's the 11th ground ball out for Cole Hamels. Doug Fister has 9.
Masson wants to hook you up with Nationals gear to kick off the 2015 season. Visit Masson Nationals Facebook page at facebook.com/Masson Nationals to find out how you can win all kinds of cool stuff. Being social, Bob, with Masson has its rewards.
I'm as nice a person as you'll ever meet. Out of play, right side. Hamels to 90 pitches, but just 8 this inning to get 2 outs and a strike. Zimmerman foul tips that one.
Well, I don't know how much you'd have to give up if you're a ball club contending to get Cole Hamels, but I'll just say this. I'd take him on my team any day. I love the way he pitches. I love how he goes about it. He's as good as they get.
That's going to be 12 ground ball outs for him in 6 innings. The Nationals go quickly. Doug Fister is going to have to continue to be flawless. Now the Buffalo out to right field. The Nats lead 1-0. Here comes another test for Doug Fister. Howard, Ruiz, and Sizemore. Phillies have had 5 hits. They've had 3 bad bunts, which don't appear in the box score. They have squandered opportunities. 2 hits in the first inning. The Ryan Howard double. Harper to Espinosa to Ramos to throw out Utley, the big play of the game. Shift is on, and Doug Fister, I mean, pulling the string 67 miles an hour.
Ivan Hernandez loved that pitch.
Oh, somewhere Levo is smiling. Probably was anyway. And he goes with a harder breaking ball down and in. 1-1. Howard lined out to center with 2 men aboard in the third, so he's been an unlucky no RBI guy tonight.
But this is a big part of the game right here, right now.
Launches one to center. Taylor going back, stops and grabs it.
He's the one Philly that squared up Doug every single time tonight. He did it again. So this morning I had the best breakfast I've ever had.
A little Philly flavor?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Philly cheesesteak and eggs. They put 2 eggs on top of Philly cheesesteak over toast. And when you come to Philadelphia, you have to have, you always have a cheesesteak, but never for breakfast with eggs on it. It was just wonderful.
Wow.
You got to try it tomorrow morning.
I might. I don't know. Day game after a night game could be dangerous. Could be your play-by-play debut.
That was good. Good idea.
Philly cheesesteak and eggs.
Yes.
1-1 to Ruiz, who's bounced out to Espinosa twice. Gonna have some cod and eggs in Boston.
He's got cheesesteak going. He's never had it with an egg on it.
I love the way our director Chuck Whitlock says to the camera guys, "Find somebody with a cheesesteak.
Get it in you. Get it in you."
They got a twofer right there.
Crush it.
3-1 and a bouncer that'll take Ryan Zimmerman right to the bag. Let's check in with Dan Kolko.
Bob, games are typically lower scoring in April for a number of reasons. The cold weather, the fact that pitchers are usually sharper than hitters at the start of the season. But this season, offense around the league is down even more than normal. Through the first 64 games this year, teams are scoring an average of just 3.7 runs per game. That's down almost a full run per game from where that total was last year through 64 games. So while the Nats have struggled scoring, pushing across 8 runs through their first 4.5 games, they're not alone. Everybody's struggling to score right now.
Yeah, we should have known something was up when 13 of the first 37 games were shutouts. Doug Fister, 2 ground ball outs. He has 11. We go top 7. Ramos, Desmond, Reed Johnson. Keep it going, guys. To retransmit it in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Offense a little bit dry on both sides tonight. Mazda do up, top 7, Ramos, Desmond, Johnson. What they've done career against the Phillies. Wilson hit his 8th homer against the Phils tonight. Cole Hamels, 93rd pitch. This would be it for him. He's due to bat 3rd in the bottom of the 7th.
And this, if you're Wilson Ramos at bat, you can look inside here. He went deep on a pitch away last time. You'd think that Cole Hamels might try him on the inside. Or go soft with a changeup.
That's early in the AB. He might be setting up a bust inside with that changeup away here. So Wilson on the year, 3 for 13. That was his 2nd career RBI against Hamels. He drops the breaking ball in at 76. And a ball pulled on 2 hot hops down to Blanco. Andres Blanco takes care of that. Celebrate opening weekend with the Carolina League's defending Mills Cup champions, our buddies, the Potomac Nationals, through April 15th. Replica championship ring, part of the highlights. Fireworks, dollar dogs, dollar tickets, t-shirts. 703-590-2311 or go to PotomacNationals.com. We didn't even include the cameos by Jason Worth in opening week there. Here's Ian Desmond. Ground ball to short, ground ball to second. Well, Ian had a base hit last night. He had the two opposite field doubles on Thursday. And usually when Ian does that, that gets him going when he's staying on the ball.
To my point about Cole Hamels, though, Wilson Ramos went deep the at-bat before. So a lot of times you'll see pitchers just totally avoid a guy the next time up. Walk him on 4 pitches, show him some change-ups in the dirt. He went right after Wilson Ramos with a different game plan. That's just the makeup this guy has. He's not afraid. He has no fear. And like I said last Eddie, I'll take this guy on my team any day.
That is fair. Picked up, and Desmond is out. He can't believe the call of Hunter Wendelstedt. Blanco was waiting for it to go foul. Then he decided to pick it up, and he gunned it. And Ian's hanging around the bag thinking his manager might want somebody to take a look at that one.
I'm kind of surprised it was that close, to be honest. That ball was rolling down the line for a long time. Blanco with a nice play.
Ooh.
And what do we got? Help me out at home.
Bang, bang.
I think they got him.
And Desmond's still on the field over by first base looking into his dugout.
He wants a review.
And Williams, I think, says yes. Time to have a look.
They're going to review. Our first one of the year.
Took 4.5 games plus. That's bang, bang.
Yeah, I can't tell there. No clue. What do you got here? This will help us. I don't know if his leg was kind of blocking out the ball in Ryan Howard's glove on that one. How about this one?
And because of the call that was made, it'll have to be indisputable to change it to safe. The old adage, tie goes to the runner. Who knows?
No, you either safe or you're out. You either beat it or you don't beat it. How come our headphones aren't that big?
I'm glad they're not. They don't have to wear them for 3 hours 160 times. Those things are huge.
Those are huge.
Jerry Lane, the crew chief, Hunter Wendelstedt, the first base umpire.
Ian's looking up at the scoreboard of the replay here at the bank.
I don't think anybody knows.
I don't know. I'm not afraid to be wrong. I just haven't really seen an angle that shows me one way or the other. What do you got right here? See, his leg kind of blocks it out right when it goes into Ryan Howard's glove, so I can't tell.
And this one's taking New York a while.
Well, they're looking at what we're looking. They probably got a few different angles.
Here they come, the headsets. Runner is.
Hello.
Do we get a signal here? Runner's out. Desmond runs off the field. I mean, how do you argue? You don't anymore. 4 consecutive ground ball outs by Cole Hamels, 14 in the game. And the hitter is Reed Johnson with 2 outs. Reed Johnson has hit a ball back to the pitcher and struck out swinging. Tapper to third. This one well foul. I'm with you. I thought when Blanco laid back that long, there was no way he was going to throw out Ian Desmond. Somehow he made up the ground.
And Desmond was busting it right out of the box the whole way. I guess if we have to sit here and go, I don't know, then
right.
It's not going to get overturned. It's got to be obvious, as we saw last year, indisputable.
Yeah, the longer the headsets are on, the less likely it's going to be changed. Johnson on 1-2, hits it hard. Utley stays with it on the short hop, and close but out at first. 3 ground ball outs, and that should be it for Cole Hamels tonight. They're cooking up some more Philly cheesesteaks. It's our Hyundai 7th inning stretch. Time for a late snack. The Nats by 1.
Be grounders, and if Doug Fister was getting grounders, he was going to have a nice night. So there's 2, 3, 4. Count with me at home, kids. 5, 6. And because Doug Fister works so fast, that's all we can show you. He has 12 ground ball outs tonight, as the Nats stay way ahead, 1-0.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they count the Desmond play at second base a ground ball out because an error was given, not the pitcher's fault. So we'll go with 12. I like that number. Hamels has 15 in 7 innings. And the leadoff man for the Phillies is Odubel Herrera, who's 0 for 1 with a base on balls. Blanco and then the pitcher's spot. Philly bullpen working.
And every time you've said his name tonight, I'm sure all Nats fans as well as myself are thinking of Asdrubal Cabrera.
Asdrubal Cabrera, Odubel Herrera. Yeah, I had watched a little TV today in the media dining room. Steven Souza Jr. and Asdrubal in the Rays lineup in their 2-0 win.
If they ever hit back-to-back someday, it'll be real fun for the broadcasters.
I'll be hooked on phonics for that game. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Boy, just keeping him off balance. Right when you think you're getting a fastball, he throws a changeup. Been down in the zone, just pounding the strike zone all night, but just not the strike zone. Quality strikes is.
Here's another name for you. That's Genmar Gomez. This guy's trouble if he gets on to lead off an inning. And the roundhouse curveball stayed outside, 3-2.
So Wilson Ramos wanted to sink her away as you see Matt Thornton getting loose. Doug Fister shook him off to the curve.
Fister due to bat second in the 8th.
Big pitch coming.
And a fly ball to right that'll move Harper over, but Bryce is there. It's a big out. Now number 8, then they'll have to hit for Hamels unless Blanco ties the game. Hamels could be done anyway with 104 pitches in 7 innings. It'll bring in Blanco, who had a base hit to lead off this 5th inning.
Pitch number 90 coming from Doug Fister.
Fades away. Counts even, 1-1.
Boy, I got the changeup going so nice tonight, and it's just mimicking his fastball, the arm speed, the release point, the movement. The Phillies are having trouble picking up that changeup from Fister.
Two-two pitch, and he misses away.
It's always hard for a hitter too, Carb, when a pitcher has the fast windup like Fister and then a changeup comes out.
Yeah, everything's hurried up.
You kind of speed up with his delivery, and then poof, there's the changeup once again.
Little blooper right field, and it's right between Espinosa and Harper. That'll bring in Cody Ashe to hit for Cole Hamels.
Good pitch by Doug Fister once again. I think it might have been another changeup. Blanco doing a nice job of putting the ball in play with 2 strikes. Took a little out of his swing, found a hole. Cody Ashe, the pinch hitter, and Matt Williams staying with Doug Fister.
Cody Ashe is 2 for 6 career against Doug Fister. Third baseman, 24 years of age, hit .252 for the Phillies, and Doug Fister looks a little confounded.
Well, let's stay with this.
Could this be a yeah, baby?
Well, he hasn't made a motion to the bullpen yet, so this is a conversation, and Matt Williams is going to listen to what Doug Fister has to say. No, that's it. Scratch that thought.
Quick hook with 1 out in the 7th with a left-handed batter coming in. This call to the bullpen for Matt Thornton, packaged by the UPS store. Your one-stop shop for all your small business needs. Let us handle your mailbox service needs. We love logistics.
Kids, the Washington area Toyota dealers want to help children and their families by making a donation of $37 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season. Doug Fister, well-deserved water break. He was great tonight, folks, wasn't he?
One bloop hit gets him out of the ball game. There's the entire rotation there. Sticking together. Scherzer tomorrow. Jordan on Monday, opening day at Fenway Park. They don't sit in order 1 through 5 because they could all be 1s and they could all be 5s.
What a staff.
Now they'll go with Darren Ruff for Cody Ashe, bringing in a right-hander against Matt Thornton. Darren Ruff has never faced him. And there's that sizzling fastball at 94. Upstairs. Ruff late for it. Zimmerman stalking it. Ryan is there. And the 7th inning. Second out right there. A huge one to the top of the order now. So Ryan Sandberg had to burn 2 players with that move. It'll be Ben Revere, who is 2 for 7 career against Matt Thornton. They saw each other frequently in the American League. Ball gets away, and Zimmerman almost recovered in time to tag out Blanco.
Just a simple throw over, and it hits.
Ooh, it hit the umpire.
Hunter Wendelstetter, that might have been a runner on third. And did he push his hand off the base? But it doesn't matter.
If he might have hurt his hand.
If you push it off the base,
you got something in his eye.
You're safe anyhow.
Well, you can't blame the runner, FP, for almost getting picked off there. He sees that ball flying away, not knowing it hit the umpire.
He's him diving in there, and he kind of shoves his hand off the base, but he kept his pinky on. Look at that.
Safe by a pinky. Look at Ryan looking up at Wendelstedt.
So the Nats catch a huge break in a 1-0 game in the bottom of the 7th. I mean, that's a runner at second at the very least.
Great location by Thornton with 93 outside edge. 1 ball, 2 strikes. A bouncer, and look at the pick by Ramos. How did he do that?
I think he might even say that same question. Watch, this ball just spiked into the dirt, and Wilson Ramos does a nice job of keeping Andres Blanco at first base. Andres Blanco's got me thinking, what do I got to do to get into scoring position right now?
Steal. Not getting any help on any caroms, that's for sure. Here's a 2-2 from Thornton to Revere. And he'll lift one into right center for Bryce Harper. Bryce was playing well off the line. Good job by Matt Thornton to get this game to the top of the 8th. They'll be hitting for him after Espinosa. Play daily fantasy baseball free on DraftKings.com. Enter promo code DUGOUT for free entry.
People driving way too fast in Philadelphia.
Well, what would you do after watching Doug Fister? They just left the ballpark.
It's just not Virginia.
This is Genmar Gomez, 27 years of age, 6'3", 222. He's from Caracas, Venezuela. Phillies signed him as a minor league free agent this January. He was with the Pirates last year, and a respectable 3.19 ERA in 44 games out of their bullpen.
I saw him last night. Big fastball, 96, 97 miles an hour.
And here's what we were talking about the other day.
Oh, hey.
Danny Espinosa is going to bat left-handed against a right-handed pitcher. We noticed in the clubhouse the other day, Danny was listed along with Jose Lobaton as a switch hitter. And Randy Knorr told me that it's going to be up to Danny against certain kind of pitchers what side of the plate he wants to hit from.
That's interesting, huh? Larry Bowe asked before the game, he said, he's straight right? I said, yeah, they just put him switch in case of an emergency. But
and you know, Randy told me that regarding what some might perceive as an attempt to fool the other ball club, he said there'll be times we'll let the other clubhouse know that he is listed as a switch hitter, and we'll just kind of leave it at that. But basically, this is up to Danny on how to handle these situations. Espinosa against Gomez career 0 for 2 with a ground ball and a strikeout. Two-1. 82 on a straight change. Another left-handed bat. Clint Robinson on deck for the Nats here in the 8th. Two-2, and Espinosa will lift it out of play left side.
There's a few things going on right here. I mean, he's telling everybody he's not really committed fully to the right-on-right thing, and that he still views himself as a switch hitter. But there's a lot of statements being made right now. He's at that, I feel like.
Well, Blake Trinan's 8th inning tonight is anything like last night. Nats will be in good shape late in this game. He's going to have Galvis, Utley, and Howard. 2-2 pitch. Espinosa jammed, and Danny fights it off.
As a former switch hitter, there were times when you hit so much from one side of the plate, and then you just jump on the other side, and you don't think about mechanics. And you just kind of hit. But when you're always practicing both swings, you're like two different people, multiple personality disorder, and you got one swing, and you're working on one thing, the other side, you're working on another thing.
Espinosa jacks one to right. That is over the head of Grady Sizemore. Danny digging for 2, and he's in there. Yeah, like we said all along, he should be batting from the left side whenever he wants to.
Well, I guess the point I was trying to make is you get out of your head if you just kind of leave one side of the plate alone for a while. Sometimes you just can work too much and think about too much. And I'm sure Danny's been in the cage hitting left-handed, but I haven't seen him in batting practice hit left-handed this year. And he walks up there, not a problem, leadoff double. Danny Espinosa, switch hitter.
This is interesting. For a moment, I thought Matt Williams might go with Matt Dendecker to come in and bunt here, but he's going to go with the power guy, Clint Robinson, feeling that Clint will do something to advance this runner or drive him in.
Yeah, you got to get the ball to the right side here, any way you can. Roll over ground ball, 16 hopper to second. Fly ball to deep right. Base hit will get him over. But this is something the Nats have to be great at every single time, especially with the guys out they have out.
Clint Robinson takes a strike. Mercedes-Benz will track it. Was it in the zone? Generous call.
That's a tough pitch to pull.
And it really changes the at-bat when you don't get that call. And Gomez goes out there again and misses.
I'm telling you, Clint Robinson right now, he can hit a 14 hopper to second base and come back to the Nats dugout a hero in a 1-0 game. Not an easy job right now where you see the fastballs all away, but he's got to go out there and roll over somehow, some way.
One. And he flips it out of play down the left field side. Clint Robinson so far 0 for 4 with a strikeout. One of those a pinch hitting appearance. So here's a guy at the age of 30 who's had 17 at bats in his career at the big league level. One, two.
And Gomez trying to make it hard by throwing everything away.
And a 2-2, and that'll advance the runner right through Carlos Ruiz, and the Nats get a big break.
That's a huge free 90 feet. Huge. And now the whole complex of this at-bat changes because you have to go from the mindset of I'm getting him over to I'm getting him in, and you would think Ryan Sandberg's going to bring his infield in right here.
Yeah, they're coming way in on a wild pitch. Man, a 2-run lead would feel like Christmas in April. Robinson up the middle for a base hit. His third major league RBI. The Nationals lead 2-0. Merry Christmas.
I'll tell you what, that's not an easy thing to do off the bench, and it's definitely not an easy thing to do to switch your mindset in the middle of an at-bat. So Clint Robinson walks in the box thinking, I got to get Danny Espinosa over. And then with 2 strikes, a wild pitch, Espinosa advances to third, and Robinson says, okay, now I got to drive him in. Did a great job of fighting off that pitch, keeping his hands inside the ball, and putting the Nats way, way ahead 2-0.
Now we see Matt Dendecker. He'll be the pinch runner. And this is important, FB. Got the top of the order coming up, nobody out. Nats trying to move the line here for another run.
Good for Clint Robinson. It's a great at-bat.
I'm sure that base hit got, if they weren't already, Drew Storen's antenna up out in the bullpen. Starting to think about the 9th inning now with Trinan trying to bridge it between now and then. Michael Taylor 0 for 3. Not that upset probably to see Cole Hamels out of the ball game. That's left-hander Jake Diekman. Probably for Harper. Michael Taylor 0 for 1 last year against Genmar Gomez when the Nats played the Bucks. And a fastball high in the zone, even things up 1-1. 23,740. Very quiet right now. Sure, a couple of hundred Nats fans, or maybe 1,000 or more, making some noise here. Happy at what they're seeing. Taylor showed bunt, pulled the bat back, and Blanco was back at third.
Might have been a sacrifice for Matt Williams.
Well, they'd have 2 shots to score the run with Escobar and Harper coming up. This inning, the first time the Nationals have had back-to-back hits in this series. They hadn't had back-to-back hits since the second inning against the Mets on Thursday, Desmond and Uggla. And Taylor takes a slider at 82 in there. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
My mind is still spinning on Espinosa hitting left-handed and starting this thing up with a double. It really is. I can't get it out of my head. And Sullivan tomorrow's a right-hander, so does Espinosa start? Does he hit left-handed? Based on that last at bat, you'd think he's got a good shot, right?
That was a loud noise.
It was a loud noise. We like loud noises.
(3-2). You would think Dendecker's going. Not a big lead. Matt holding. And a little flare to right. That's going to fall in front of Sizemore. So the Nats finally get one to fall in. So after 3 Ks, Michael gets a salvage operation here.
Yeah, it's nice.
First and second, nobody out. 3 hits in a row.
And 2 strikes again, staring at 4 strikeouts. Michael Taylor, like you said, with a nice salvage piece right there. A little bloop single. A beautiful thing.
And now would you bunt Escobar, knowing that a lefty is going to come in to face Harper next? I mean, if they bring in the lefty, they'd probably be pitching to Bryce. Zimmerman on deck there. A lot of things could happen here. See how the Phillies played their defense. Right now, the third baseman, Blanco's even with the bag. Ryan Howard about the same on the other side. And they've got the middle infielders pinched for a double play possibility.
I always like the inside move to second here just to see if the batter shows bunt.
Escobar doesn't, but he pops it up short left field. Galvis out, Revere in, left fielder call. That's a quick answer to that question. 1 out. Now they can go with the lefty against Harper. We'll see how it's played by Ryan Sandberg.
Bryce looking into the Phillies dugout, and you just saw Ryan Sandberg hop out.
So the Nats pick up 3 hits in a third of an inning against Genmar Gomez to double their lead and now have a possibility of going up 3, maybe 4-0. Harper against the lefty in a moment.
13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Blackout and other restrictions do apply, so visit MLB.tv for details. We were watching ball games on the bus coming up from DC to Philly the other day on our cell phones. How cool is that?
Very nice. It's amazing the access. I got texted from a college team watching us on MLB on Thursday as they were all on the bus going to one of their opponent universities. That was very cool. And I texted back, score us some runs. Well, tonight there's that possibility of a bunch. Interesting matchup here. Lefty to lefty between Harper and Diekman. Bryce 1 for 3 against him with 3 strikeouts, a single, and a sacrifice. He won't be bunting here.
That Diekman, big fastball, upper 90s.
Going to try to put an exclamation point on this inning and this game for Harper. Bryce 0 for 2 with a walk tonight.
He's faced Diekman before, and Diekman has thrown him all sliders. So not guaranteed a 96 or 97. And we'll see how this matchup goes.
At least the Nats, in an inning like this, they're putting pressure on the other team's infield, on their pitching staff, and on their manager to try to get some matchups and make some crucial game decisions.
Diekman thinks the pitcher's mound at second base right now. With home plate at second base.
Diekman, 28 years of age, 73 games for the Phillies last year. And a solid ERA, not great, not horrible, 3.80. He was a 30th rounder 8 years ago. Out of a community college called Cloud County in the state of Kansas. Harper high in the air left field, and it will not be reachable, hitting the tarp.
Good hustle by Ben Rivera. He went a long way for that. Yeah, Andres Blanco, the third baseman, didn't even move for that one. He was just chilling. Yeah, so that's yours, Ben. I'm gonna just hang out right here. I mean, this was in the air a long time.
Oops.
And Blanco just kind of kicked it and watched Ben Rivera run about 200 yards.
Oh, 2 to Harper. Then he shows him the heater way outside there. Bryce 1 RBI on his opening day home run. And he fights that one off right on his hands.
But you got to be thinking fastball if you're Bryce in a 2-strike count, because it's very respectable at 95, 96. And if he throws the slider, you're just thinking slap something to left. Easy to say, not easy to do.
1 out, 2 on, a run home. And a breaking ball that Bryce can't reach. 2 down.
Well, I'll show you the sequence. Diekman v. Harper. First pitch slider. Got the strike call. Fastball up. Fastball 95 away. And a 94. And the slider away for strike 3.
Ryan Sandberg's bullpen quiet, so Diekman stays against the right-hander Zimmerman. Ryan 0 for 3 tonight, 1 for 3 career with a base on balls against the left-hander. First pitch curveball well inside.
Go all in on a heater right here. If he throws a slider, he's got you. 1-0, throws 96.
There it is, and he misses.
That's down.
Fastball, belt high, right in there. Big gap left center. A lot of room left field line. Only 329 down the line here. Left fielders usually play well toward the gap here. And Zimmerman goes reaching for a pitch out of the strike zone. The Nationals will settle for a run on Clint Robinson's RBI. Danny Espinosa started it with the double. And then Robinson delivers a little flare up the middle. That's a line drive at anybody's box score right now.
At once, this one being maybe the biggest. First inning, Ryan Howard double down the line, great relay throw. So Danny Espinosa in on a lot of action tonight, and then the Freddie Galvis bunt attempt after first and second, nobody out. And this is the sleeper play of the night. A leadoff single from Andres Blanco in the 5th inning, and Michael Taylor hustling over in the gap, backhanding the ball and holding him to a single. All big plays in a close ball game. And we talked about clean baseball and playing the game the right way, and the Nats have done that here tonight so far.
Blake Trinan, a scoreless 8th last night, 14 pitches, 9 strikes. He struck out Frank Core looking. He got Herrera on a grounder and Cameron Rupp on a grounder. And he faces Freddie Galvis here, who has never faced him. 97, strike one.
Everybody after the game last night from the Phillies and even in batting practice today talking about Blake Trinan's sinker last night.
And even if it's up in the zone it's still changing planes on you. That one did to a certain extent, and it's 0-2. Galvis guides it toward the left side. Desmond picks it up and fires. Ryan Zimmerman, reaching near the runner, stays on the bag.
Ben Davis does the color for the Phillies broadcast, and he was telling me last night after the game.
Ex-catcher.
Yes, ex-catcher. He said the same thing I've said on the air. He said, I thought they were change-ups until I looked at the board and saw 98. And he couldn't believe, like we do every night, how effortless.
Yeah, that's the movement.
And Pete McCannon, the third base coach for the Phillies, said it looks like he's not trying it. So that might stick. Blake not trying it.
Here's Chase. He is Utley. 0 for 3 tonight. He's facing Blake for the first time. And that whistles right by Chase Utley's shoulder. He's been known to take a pitch like that off the sleeve now and then, but I'm not sure you want any part of that one.
Well, the way Ryan Howard's been swinging it tonight, this is a big out.
Sure is. On the inside edge, right-hander Dustin McGowan for the Phils for the 9th. Line drive, base hit. That's huge. Ryan Howard represents the tying run. That's a good approach by Utley. He didn't seem to swing very hard. Just trying to let the pitcher supply the power on that one. Howard is 0 for 1 career against Trinan with a strikeout. So here you go. Sometimes FP the saves in the 8th inning.
Yes, sir.
Howard to left. Reed Johnson. That's in the ballpark. Utley will score, and it's a 2-1 game. The Nats still have the lead by inches. He has done that for years in this park.
As a reliever earlier in your career, back-to-back nights is always a test when you're used to being a starting pitcher. And Blake Trinan brought into last night's game down by 3, finds himself in a big situation tonight. And how close was that?
I mean, 1-2 inches higher. That hits the top of the wall and skips out. Ryan Sandberg did come out of the dugout momentarily and was sent back by Jerry Lane. Now Carlos Ruiz, and the Phillies will go with a pinch runner here, Cesar Hernandez for Ryan Howard.
Ryan Howard had a nice night. He was locked in, barreled up every single ball he hit. He was scuffling, 1 for 12 coming in tonight, but he looked great.
I'm telling you, that guy's an eyelash away from having 3 or 4 RBIs tonight. Slider by Trinan, a good one to Carlos Ruiz, who's 0 for 1 against him career with a ground ball. Another slight piece, 87.
Slider to an 0-2 count. And Carlos Ruiz, you can see, just spinning out of there early because he has to gear up for 97.
And he goes with another one. Up the middle. Oh my. Right between Desmond and Espinosa. Nobody took charge, and this game is tied. Looked like either could have had it.
Well, the chopper up the middle, and this play has to be made. And then Danny Espinosa went on the shortstop side. And Ian Desmond was there. Espinosa was there. And this game just got all sorts of weird.
Well, Cole Hamels off the hook. Doug Fister cannot win. He'll get a no decision. Here's Grady Sizemore. 1 for 1 against Blake Trinan last year.
Well, there has to be communication between the middle infielders right there, and it's almost like a pop-up. Whenever you have a ground ball over the bag, you still have to say, I got it, I got it, I got it, if you're going for it. And I think maybe Ian Desmond's surprised that Danny Espinosa was so far over on that side of the bag. He was on the shortstop side. At the very least, that ball has to stay in the infield.
They did give a hit on that play, by the way, and that's low and inside. You know, but you think the shortstop moving toward first. Not an easy play, but easier than that of the second baseman. Phillies with their 9th hit of the night. There's number 10. And Ruiz, who does not run well, will not be able to score here. But they will have second and third with 1 out on 4 straight hits against Blake Trinan, who might be a little gassed after pitching last night.
Yeah, I think this has everything to do with pitching last night. Off speed, Sizemore on it, down the corner, and the only reason Ruiz didn't score is because there's a lot of miles on that car, but a nice piece of hitting by Grady Sizemore.
Bullpen empty for the Nats. Yeah, that's changed the bullpen now. Jonathan Papelbon jumping up.
When you talk to guys that haven't relieved before, Carvey, it's always how you bounce back the next day. When you have to go back-to-back days, and when you haven't really done it a whole lot in your career, it could be a new experience. Maybe the ball's not coming out. I know it's not sinking like it was last night. The velocity's still there.
He threw Ruiz 3 straight breaking balls. So here's Odubel Herrera, who's 0 for 2 with a base on balls.
You have to walk him here, don't you? Maybe not.
Well, you could go righty-righty. Actually, Blanco is a switch hitter on deck. So, and the pitcher's spot after that. And really, the only man they have left is Jeff Francoeur, a right-hander, because Cameron Rupp, backup catcher, you're not going to use him. And a bouncing ball right to Espinosa. Runner coming, and Ramos gets him on the way by. Another assist to the plate for Danny Espinosa. 2 outs.
It almost looked like Espinosa was surprised the runner was going right here. Watch him kind of double pump and make this a little bit closer. And he had to rush, and Wilson Ramos, for the second time tonight on a throw from Danny Espinosa, spins the opposite direction and makes a tag.
Ruiz was called out as he went by. If the tag's not made, the umpire will not give a signal at all.
Yeah.
So it's up to Andres Blanco now. The trail runner, Grady Sizemore, did go to third on that play. And there's Blanco, who has 2 hits tonight. He's 1 for 1 career against Trinan with a double.
Thinking about a base hit month.
And Escobar's even with the bag at third. 4 hits in this inning. And there's the heartbreaking ball for a strike. There's Jeff Francoeur for the pitcher next. I mean, he's the only guy they have left who can hit. You're just not going to use your backup catcher in a close ball game. And he's right-handed anyway, so it would be Frank Cord. And a 1-1 out of play left field.
Watch the movement or lack thereof on the fastball. Remember last night it was dropping off a table like a split? Sure. They had a lot of sink on it. That's been the difference between Blake Trinan last night and Blake Trinan here tonight. That ball doesn't have that same darting effect late. I think that's why he's throwing more off speed than he did. You know, he had that bowling ball turbo thing going last night at 98. It's not coming out the same here tonight.
One-two pitch out of play. Xavier Cedeno. That would be for Revere if the inning goes beyond Jeff Francoeur, who's on deck. That is a strike. On the slider. But Blake Trinan gives up 2 runs on 4 hits in the 8th inning. And the Nationals will go to the 9th against Papelbon tied. Not great behind him. Unearned runs given up. He'll take on Sean O'Sullivan. Anaheim, Kansas City, San Diego, and Philly stops in his big league career. 10 wins his career. And we'll get you going at 1 o'clock with Johnny and Ray. Nats Extra tomorrow on Masson 2. First pitch at 1:35. 2-2 ball game here. Jonathan Papelbon can no longer get a save tonight, so he'll try to get this game to the bottom of the 9th. For his team to win it, it'll be Ramos, Desmond, and Reed Johnson. Chase Utley moves to first base. A first for us to see him there. And Cesar Hernandez takes over at second after they pinch ran for Ryan Howard.
Yeah, Papelbon, 2-pitch guy, 3-pitch guy, fastball slider split. For the split with 2 strikes.
He threw a fly ball to right to Wilson Ramos last night. Off speed there. Over to Blanco. First out, and Utley had to reach into the runner for that.
I'd say what, last night Blake Trinan was impressive with his stuff. And when all heck was breaking loose around him tonight, he was impressive with his calm demeanor to get some huge outs. When it looked like the Phillies were about to take the lead, he got some big outs. So that was impressive. When things weren't going well behind him, he stuck in there and made some huge pitches.
You brought up the solid point that for a young reliever still new to that role, the second game in a row, who knows what you're going to get. And Desmond will pop this one out of play, off to the right. It'll be a learning process for Blake as this thing goes along. Craig Stammen and Drew Storen for the bottom of the ninth. Obviously Drew, if the Nats take the lead here. The road closer can get a save beyond the middle of the ninth inning. Home closer cannot. So that's why Papelbon works here, and maybe Storen in the ninth, or maybe later. Ian Desmond, ground ball out to end the game against Papelbon last night. He's 4 for 15 against him career. Desmond 3 for 17 to start the season. Oh, he got a breaking ball that was hanging up a bit, but a pop fly for Hernandez. 2 outs.
That's a pitch that when Ian Desmond is locked is in the seats. He loves the off-speed elevated.
Yeah, he knows it. I just saw Ian as he went to the dugout, kind of slapped his hands together, knowing he should have done more with that one. Here's Reed Johnson. 2 grounders, a strikeout. He's 0 for 3. He's 0 for 5 career against Papelbon. Front door breaking ball stays inside. And he got jammed. This will be out of play.
Trying to find the fence. And look out.
Well played on the hop by that fan who caught it, by the way. Fastball running away at 91, strike 2. That's a good take. Not an easy one.
Probably on a big time lead going to his own dugout right here. Watch him after the pitch.
Reed Johnson, always a tough out, hanging in there.
They got a good fight going here.
And Reed Johnson with another good take. Shall we say left-handed hitting Danny Espinosa on deck?
Switch hitting. Love the fight going on. Reed Johnson hanging tough. This is where, as a hitter, you just get in there after 8 pitches and say, okay, if you throw me a slider, you got me, because I'm all about the fastball.
Johnson hacks one up the middle in one of the best at bats we've seen early this season.
A 9-pitch fight goes Reed Johnson's way. And I told Nats fans on opening day you're going to fall in love with this guy. That's the way he does it. Fastball up, gets on top, hit a bullet back up the middle to Cole Hamels his first time. Nothing to show for it. Finally checks in his 4th time with a single. Let's see if he has any notions about getting to second base.
It's a .280 career hitter. Not always a starter, but he finds a way. Danny Espinosa rocked one over the head of Sizemore in right last time. Danny career against Papelbon 1 for 5. Target away. He didn't get it out there, and Espinosa went right after it. Carlos Ruiz was reaching back for that one. Johnson, 41 career steals.
Any type of player, even if he's not stealing, he's looking for something in the dirt to get to second.
Yeah. And Espinosa at 92. Straight back and went. Tyler Moore on deck, pitcher spot. Now Espinosa asking for time. Stays in the box. Papelbon had gone into a stretch pretty much ignoring the time that had been given, and Jerry Lane, the home plate umpire, made sure Papelbon knew time was out.
And Carlos Ruiz is going to go out there and talk to Papelbon. The split is his out pitch. Danger with that is a lot of times it's in the dirt and it can be a free 90 feet. I think they're talking about maybe locating a fastball right here. The Phillies a lot of times last year would elevate to Danny Espinosa for a fastball around his letters with 2 strikes.
There's the high gas. It'll be Stammen in the bottom of the 9th against the Phillies in a 2-2 game. Craig Stammen's job to keep this thing going and get it into extra innings. Here's our game summary. Danny Espinosa, that leadoff double, brought home on the big pinch hit by Clint Robinson. Ryan Howard gashing the ball all over the yard tonight. He hit 4 line drives, the last one inches away from leaving the yard. So here's Craig Stammen, 3rd appearance coming up. And he'll be facing Jeff Francoeur in the number 9 spot for the Phils. Francoeur is 0 for 8 career against Stammen.
Right to the slider tonight. First pitch.
Well, Francoeur's always been a pretty good fastball hitter. You get ahead of him, you don't have to throw him a strike to get him out. That'll be in the zone, 91.
That 2-seam fastball and run it in on righties. Slider coming back the other way. Curveball to go with it.
And a 1-2 pitch. That is fair. Down the line. Harper all over it. There's a play at second. The throw hits the runner. And Francoeur is safe.
If that doesn't hit him, I think he's out. Cannot believe Bryce Harper made it that close. And I don't think Jeff Francoeur can either. Watch this. Emergency hack. Nicely done. But watch Bryce Harper get rid of it with something on it. And it hits him right in the head. I mean, the only thing you could maybe do different there is take the throw on the other side of the base. But I think he was safe either way. Maybe I jumped the gun a little bit right there.
Escobar and Zimmerman severely pinching at the corners here. The Phillies have been horrible in bunt situations tonight. They get one here, they'll be in a position to win the game. Ben Revere 1 for 4 tonight. He's 1 for 5 career against Craig Stammen. He was hacking. Boy, he stood Ryan Zimmerman straight up as that foul ball went by.
Ryan Zimmerman, after the play, the ball was down the line. Look, he's charging for the bunt. He looked at the Phillies dugout and he put his glove out like, I had that all the way. Ryan Zimmerman seen enough bunt and he let his leadoff hitter swing away.
No show of it square around there. Count goes to 1-2. Kind of an odd at bat right there. Fastball way up. A guy who's a singles hitter. Looked like he was trying to power one somewhere.
Well, that's how they struck Revere out last night. You saw Stammen the pitch before it climbed the ladder. This one a little bit higher, and Revere couldn't hold up. Gio Gonzalez struck him out on a fastball in his eyes. And it's a nice execution of the game plan by Craig Stammen. That was nice.
It's Freddie Galvis 1 for 4. I'm a little stunned that you hit your leadoff guy's not bunting there.
Well, he saw the 3 previous bunts, and I think Ben Revere was in on one of those.
Yeah.
But I'm with you.
I thought this was the major leagues where, you know, you got to trust your guys to get that down. That baffles me.
I'm with you. That's outfield cheating in, obviously.
So now Stammen has another hitter deep in the hole. Utley on deck.
Well, Stammen likes to bounce the slider and the curve with 2 strikes. Really got to rely on Wilson Ramos to keep it in front.
.93, no swing, says David Rack. Ooh. I mean, he came with the heat that time.
That was close to a swing. From the side, let's check it out one more time.
Yeah, the bat waving out over part of home plate. He kept the hands in front of it, but very close to going through the hitting zone. That looked like a swing. It'll require a Ramos throw to Zimmerman, 2 outs.
Yeah, great block by Wilson Ramos. Another well-executed game plan by Craig Stammen.
10 o'clock. This ball game was at 9 o'clock in the 7th inning with Pfister and Hamels doing their thing. The bullpens have really slowed things down. The Phillies have made a comeback. And now it'll be Stammen against Chase Utley. Utley, 3 for 8 career against Stammen with a home run.
This might be a walk right here.
First base open. I'd rather take on Hernandez than Utley. This is the situation where Ryan Howard was pinch run for last inning. So it'll be Cesar Hernandez.
That block, not a small thing by Wilson Ramos. Even though it was a strikeout, even though there's 2 outs, if Francoeur advances to third, it kind of takes away one of your pitches, which is the slider in the dirt.
Yeah.
You have the winning run on third with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. You don't really throw that same slider in the dirt with the same kind of conviction because you're thinking about a wild pitch. So even though it was strike 3, that was a big block by Ramos.
Bases. Well, runners at first and second here with Hernandez coming in. Facing Craig Stammen for the first time. And the hard slider down and in.
If you're in the infield right now, your mentality is, I'm selling out, I'm diving, I'm keeping the ball in the infield any way you can. If you're in the outfield right now, you're getting to a spot where you know you can throw Francoeur out at home. You don't want to get beat in front of you. You don't want to get beat by a blooper. If he hits it over your head, so what? If the pitcher makes a good pitch in this situation, you want to be there for him. So everybody cheating in, get to a point where they can throw out the runner at home. And everybody on the infield on their bellies.
Stammen's got some kind of lively slider going tonight. 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
Yeah, this is late. Watch how late this breaks. Tight little slider. Tough to pick up.
And a fastball right off his belt there.
Well, he did this to Freddie Galvis. He went fastball in, and what that does, it gets a hitter thinking about it. So you start your swing early or cheat to get to it, and it opens up the slider down. See if they do the same thing right here.
And that time not biting. And that's big because now the runners get a head start.
Yeah.
The only runner that matters, Francoeur at second. He's not a burner, but for a big man, he moves well. And this is a good advantage for him.
You don't necessarily have to throw a fastball right here. You have a base. It doesn't matter. You could go 3-2 slider.
Stammen gets the strikeout, and this one's going to the 10th. Craig Stammen strikes out the side, giving up a double, issuing an intentional walk.
Slider.
Stammen, a long bottom of the 9th inning, gives the Nats a chance to still win this thing. And some congrats from Steve McCatty. Tyler Moore will hit for Stammen here, as Dustin McGowan gets the call for the Phillies. He had a 6.75 ERA in spring. Pitching against the Nationals for the first time. He began last year as a starter with Toronto, went 2-2 in 8 starts. 5.08 ERA put him in the bullpen, and then he was 3.35 for the Blue Jays after that. Phillies have picked him up, and here he is in extra innings. Dustin McGowan.
10 in a row are getting hot for the Nats. Got a 3-pitch guy. Fastball average is 94. And he throws the fastball a lot, 74% of the time. So Tyler Moore is going to get a heater.
That's 22 pitches, 12 strikes by Craig Stammen to bull his way through that bottom of the 9th. Tyler Moore seeing this right-hander for the first time. Fastball way outside. Got ready for Tyler to park one somewhere. And he was on it, fouled it straight back.
That was he did. That was a backwards over. Almost got up to us.
Upper deck.
Yeah.
Mezzanine. Way inside.
Okay, I'm in.
Rally paper plate?
Yeah, rally plate.
Well, if he throws one over the plate, maybe Moore will hit one over that plate.
Or it could be a rally UFO, just landed on the warning track. Either one works for me.
That stays up and in, ball 3.
Boy, if that goes down the middle, it might go out of the park. Should be a healthy swing right here from Tyler.
Yeah, Tyler's still looking for his first base hit of the year, 0 for 9. He was an extra base hit machine in spring training. 3-2 on the fastball.
Well, he got the pitch he was looking for in the spot he was looking for. That was center cut right down the middle.
And Tyler Moore out to left center, but it was down near the end of the bat. He still hit it about 375. 1 out. Top of the order, Taylor and Escobar. Michael dropped one into right field last time up. That was the third of those 3 hits in a row back in the 8th. But then the Phillies bullpen got Escobar, Harper, and Zimmerman, the last 2 on strikes. Fastball missing. Ball 2, just enough fade to get it inside.
Can't keep falling behind.
Two 2-0 and Taylor in swing mode. That's an outfield and a no doubles defense. They are deep all over the place. I don't know, with Michael's speed, maybe it's a no triples defense. He had a big rip at a pitch up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And that will fill things up. Up and in. Lead run on base with 1 out. Escobar coming up.
Good at bats. Got some pitches that were close. That one up and in. McGowan wanted the call, but a good at bat by Michael Taylor. And I don't know. Let's see.
Paper or plastic? It'll be Escobar now. 1 for 4 tonight. By the way, Michael Taylor, you strike out your first 3 times. Then you get a base hit and a walk. So as a leadoff guy, on base a couple of times tonight. Yunel Escobar has faced this pitcher before in the American League. 1 for 4 against him with a base on balls.
Taylor had a lead going. He's thinking about running.
Only other national who's ever faced this righty before, the injured Nate McLouth. And here's Escobar. A lot of hitting room right side.
I think Ryan Sandberg's seeing if maybe a hit and run is on. You remember Matt Williams tried that in spring training, I believe, with Yunel Escobar and Michael Taylor on first.
So somebody in Vieira told somebody in Orlando who told somebody over in Clearwater. Huh?
Yeah. With smoke signals.
They really want to speed things up, make throwovers count toward that 20 seconds.
I told you the other day, 10 throwovers per team.
Per inning?
No, just per team.
Per
the whole
game?
Yeah, you have to use them wisely.
Wow.
And then when you're out of them, everyone just runs crazy, and that way you get more offense. Taylor looks like he really wants to go.
There he goes. Looked like a good jump. And he is in there, easily beating the throw. Michael A. Taylor gets to second base.
I'll tell you what, that was a really good jump. Boy, you know, he had all his weight on his right foot. He's been doing that. But the jump that he just got was fantastic. I don't think I've seen a jump that good in a while. I mean, he took off the instant McGowan's foot lifted.
That's the Nationals' first stolen base and the first of Michael Taylor's career. Now he's given the Nationals 2 shots to bring him in.
Game on.
Hernandez trying to keep him close, trying to help his outfielders if there's a base hit.
And Michael Taylor looking at his outfield right now. That's what all good base runners do, checking the outfield, seeing where everybody's playing. Guys will move from pitch to pitch, so you turn around and for you younger players, see where they're playing. That way you know where the ball's going right off the bat. And if you're the home team, obviously you don't have to cheat in as far as the Nats did in a do-or-die situation at the bottom of the ninth.
2-2 game, top 10, 1 on, 1 out. Veteran hitter in there who makes contact and uses the ballpark. Escobar with a good eye works it to 3-1. And with the Phillies bullpen quiet, this could really get interesting if he puts Escobar on.
Yeah, nowhere to put Harper.
Yeah, they have to pitch to Bryce. There's Tanner Roark poised for the bottom of this inning. Drew Storen up for a second time in case the Nats take the lead. Escobar not able to reach that breaking ball. Ended up being kind of a one-handed swing.
Well, if I'm Escobar, I'm thinking the same thing. Bryce Harper on deck, they're not pitching around me. I'm going to get a fastball 3-1. He got a slider.
Everything away here. Outfield has the center fielder and right fielder shaded that way. And Escobar gashes a slider into left. Taylor approaching third. They're going to send him. And he's out by a mile. Bob Henley sending Michael Taylor on a hard hit ball to Ben Revere. Not even close.
You remember the other day when Michael Taylor went to third base on a ground ball to shortstop and he got thrown out? He hesitated right there, and that was the difference. He took a jab step back to second base, maybe because he got thrown out on a ground ball to short the other day against the Mets, and that jab step cost him. Bob Henley saw Ben Revere going to his left right there and send him, and Revere, watch Taylor. You see him go back to the bag? That's the difference. And Ben Revere's been working on his throw in all spring training. And that's the best throw he's ever made.
Yeah.
They really worked on long toss with him. They worked on getting him more on top. He has one of the weaker arms in baseball, but you can see the difference right there. Bob Henley thought there's no way in the world Revere was going to make that throw, even though Michael Taylor jab stepped back towards second base.
The good thing about the end of that play, if there was a good thing, is that Escobar did get himself to scoring position. So trading a runner at second for one at second, but now they don't pitch to Price. They'll go righty-righty on Zimmerman. But I got to ask you, aren't you taught as a young player, make sure the line drive goes through? I mean, he can't read that ball through the hole from second base.
I'm telling you, the reason he went back is because the other day a ball was hit to his right, and it was hit to Wilmer Flores, and he threw to David Wright at third on a ground ball in the infield. So he's thinking the same thing right there. I can't let that happen again. So he jabs back to second base. And I'm going to say on 99% of left fielders, once that happens, you hold him at third base. But the fact that Ben Revere has one of the weaker arms in baseball is why Bob Henley sent him. And Revere blew everybody away with this throw. And I watched a few of the Phillies broadcasts in spring training. They said he's been doing long toss, working on his throws. And if anybody's seen Ben Revere throw in the past, there's no way he comes even close to making this throw.
Yeah.
So, you know, whatever you're thinking at home, I'm telling you what was going through Bob Henley's mind right there. And he's probably sitting there at third just as shocked as I am right now that Revere made that throw.
Ryan Zimmerman facing McGowan for the first time. Ryan 0 for 4 tonight. It was a great at bat by Escobar, who's 2 for 5. And the Nationals, with a base hit, still could take the lead here. Now it's 0-2. By the way, Ben Revere has been in the big leagues a while. 20th career outfield assist, first as a left fielder. And the 0-2. Smothered by Ruiz.
Excuse me, Carmen lost in all that breakdown was one heck of an at-bat by Yunel Escobar.
Yeah. He's hit the ball hard 3 times tonight. Well, these are situations throughout his career that Ryan Zimmerman has thrived on. And not that time. McGowan comes up with 92. And Ryan Zimmerman's 2 for 19 to start the season. Revere the hero for now. anything right. But Ryan Howard had a big night with the bat. He put his head down. He thought that was a home run.
Yeah, and if it was about 10 degrees warmer, it would have been a home run. Cold night here in Philadelphia. The wind was blowing in from left. That kept the game alive. And then some miscommunication up the middle led to a run on the Carlos Ruiz single. And that's where we stand. 2-2 ball game.
Tyler Moore batting ninth will stay in, take over for Ryan Zimmerman at first. The pitcher batting fourth, Tanner Roark. He told me yesterday it sure felt good to get some work in the 7th and 8th innings on Thursday. He pitched 2 innings, just gave up a hit, had a double play ball, threw 33 pitches, 21 strikes. He's the kind of guy like Craig Stammen who can go a ways for you in an extra inning situation like this. They'll face Carlos Ruiz, Brady Sizemore, and Odubel Herrera. Carlos Ruiz 1 for 5 against Tanner.
Well, Tanner Roark's job, get this thing to the 11th any way he can.
92 on the outside edge with a strike. Phillies have used all their position players except for backup catcher Cameron Rupp. Of course, the Nats still have Lobaton, but they also have Dan Uggla. And they made the double switch, which gives them the opportunity to use Tanner Roark for a couple of innings before they would have to hit for him, if it goes that far. Carlos Ruiz, hot shot, and it's off the glove of Escobar. And the Phillies have the potential winning run aboard. Carlos Ruiz, second consecutive hit. He hit that ball up the middle, deflected off Espinosa's glove. So he's been fortunate to get a couple of knocks tonight.
And kind of had some side spin on it. Took a funny hop.
Phillies don't really have anybody to pinch run for him, and wouldn't take him out anyway. So here's Grady Sizemore, who doubled down the right field line last time on Blake Trinan. Sizemore 1 for 6 career against Roark. Escobar's on the grass at third. On the offside, Reed Johnson, the deepest of the 3 outfielders.
Get the one challenge for Tanner Roark, and all Mets fans know that his stuff plays. He was so good at setting up hitters their second and their third time, and you start guessing with him, and it seemed like hitters would always guess wrong and he'd keep you off balance. That's going to be a challenge for him, just facing guys once in one inning.
Yeah. Sizemore to left. Reed Johnson with room in the corner. Ruiz tagging, and he makes it. That's a veteran move right there for a guy who doesn't run that fast.
Remember, this year tag plays are reviewable, and I thought he might have left a hair early, but also remember that Matt Williams is out of challenges. I mean, he did a good job of scrambling back, and it looked like he was a click early. But like I said, it's irrelevant. Nice play. Nice heads-up play by Carlos Ruiz.
Yeah, he was reading the outfielder. So here's Odubel Herrera, who's 0 for 3 with a walk. Because of his speed, Escobar plays on the grass at third. '83 with a tight slider in there for Tanner Roark.
And also as a starter, Carp, you have time to settle into a game. There ain't no settling in out of the bullpen. You got to get to all your pitches immediately.
'92 with movement right there. jamming Herrera. This guy's always been a pretty good hitter. 294 average in 6 minor league seasons. 321 Double-A Frisco for Texas last year before the Phillies grabbed him in the Rule 5 draft. And the 0-2, and this game is over if Ruiz can score. He does, and the Phillies come from behind to win it. And again, FP, extreme pressure on the pitching staff. Everything that happens is a dagger because there's no margin for error right now.
There isn't. I mean, you have to be perfect in every aspect of the game if you're only going to score a couple of runs a night. And give the Phillies credit, man. They fought. They battled. They stayed in this game. They made some plays when they had to. But 5 games into the season couldn't have started any weirder for the Washington Nationals.
Nationals strand 7 runners tonight. The Phillies will leave 11, but they'll plate enough to win it. McGowan the win, Roark the loss, and now Max Scherzer will have to be a salvage guy for the Nationals tomorrow against the Phillies right here. For FP and Dan, I'm Bob Carpenter. 3-2 Philadelphia. 1 o'clock Nats Extra tomorrow, and then we join you for first pitch, 1:35. This has been a presentation of Masson. Johnny and Ray straight ahead, and from the bank in South Philly. So long for just a while.